Weldon and Majman on row 1. Beswick and Garzone row 2. Janetta and Nanji row 3. Vagara and Martella row 4. Cooley and Nordquist round up the top 5 rows. Top 10 in the field. Drivers are lining up. Put it in the hands of Oliver Weldon, the starter, waiting to fire things up. But we are at it, folks. We are. Green, green, green. All the way down to the inside of the racetrack for Weldon. 4 wide coming into the corner. Garzone thinking about looking at the inside as well. First couple drivers getting through cleanly. Looks good so far. They're stacking things up. One driver had to go in. That was Nordquist in the 17. He goes into the runoff, but gets through the chicanes. Otherwise, the drivers through cleanly through turn number 1, 2, and 3. Check mark, get things underway. Shout out to the USF2000 drivers learning after the issue in race number 1. Here they come through turns number 4, 5, 6. Back over to turn number 7. One driver off a little bit further back. One of the Kahn brothers potentially off there. A little bit of a lockup coming into 7. We saw some contact there as well. Field streaming through. Get through the opening lap and go to work. Although Portland, a very tough place to pass. Drivers always complaining about the potential for that aero wash understeer you get when you're tucked inside behind someone's draft. The number 23 getting super aggressive. That's Eddie Beswick. He's trying to go back to the front. Look at this. Beswick all over Weldon right now. Expect an attack here early. We'll give you a look here. I want to say it might have been the 94 of Ayrton Kahn that had gone off of the opening circuit there. Here's the big run down the straightaway again. This will be the opportunity for the first time pass. Let's see what we have. Trying to the outside, not quite enough. Up over the curbing goes Beswick on the inside. Great shot as they come out of that corner. Here's how they use all the exit here. Out of turn number 2 over to 3. What a hectic battle early. And look at Garzone going at it. Garzone able to do the over-under out of 2 to 3. He'll take second from Beswick. So the point leader for D-Force Racing, Sebastian Garzone, winning the Lucas Oil Formula Car School of Racing 2 years ago. Rookie last year in USF2000, now lining himself up to potentially win the scholarship that would take him into USF Pro 2000 next year. Winning the championship in USF2000 scholarship worth over $409,000, taking that budget into USF Pro. 11-point lead right now for Majman, or rather for Garzone over Majman. Look at this though, Beswick continues to try to work on Garzone. Let's see if Garzone's got anything for Oliver Weldon. Weldon trying to see if he can't double up here this week, having got that stress and pressure off the first win off his shoulders. We're in the racing line now. Here comes Beswick to the inside of Garzone. More fighting further back, side-by-side action. I think Beswick's going to have the inside. He does. Beswick's through. Book it. Eddie Beswick goes into P2. Great run down the straightaway. Beswick back to second. Thomas Nordquist, who had to go through the penalty chicane, having missed the corner coming in, actually got back out onto the racetrack, lost a couple of spots, but he's got himself back up to 11th. So a wise move to the outside of the racetrack for Nordquist, now a second-year driver here in the USF Pro Championships. Impressive for him to get through there, hold his spot. Wise decision-making for the young driver. There's that fight a little bit further back. I think that may have been Evan Cooley and Nordquist fighting for the 10th position. See Wesley Gundler in the white, number 46 for NV Motorsports, currently running there in 12th as well. He's going to look to the inside. How about 2x2 coming down the straightaway? Nanji looking to the inside of Cooley. Not quite enough, but he's right side by side. Nanji's going to get through as well. Nanji by Cuthbert. I think it was both Cooley and Nanji by Cuthbert. There's some great racing here in USF 2000 right now. In the pre-race show, Ryan Janetta and I talked about how difficult it is to make that pass at the end of the back straightaway, to really, throw it to the inside and commit to it. Like Ryan said, you almost just have to get in there, release the brake, and hold on and hope you come out the other side. And we've seen a couple of great overtakes already in that corner. That's really one of the primary places to overtake, either into 10 or down the straightaway into turn number 1. Weldon still leading the way with the fast lap of the race, a 1:12.966 fast lap, 7/10 of a second the advantage as, again, Beswick having to think about Garzone right behind him. Talked about Anthony Martella on the driver intros. I went through the grid, started 8th, finished 2nd yesterday. Martella has got himself up to P4. And I'm telling you, this kid's not out of the championship fight yet. Brad Majman 6th, Garzone in 3rd. They're all fighting. There's Wesley Gundler again. He's got himself in front of Nordquist. So Gundler back up into the top 10 again. Gundler's been knocking out these top 10s. Talk about really starting to get a feel for this race car. Single car effort with MV Motorsports. He'd do well with some extra data, but right now just the one car. Matteo Nannini, the team principal, they're also racing in Indy next this weekend, a winner, as we know, at the Nashville Super Speedway. They're looking at trying to have 3 cars in USF2000 next year, and if Wesley Gundler's showing anything that can happen for Envy, they've got themselves a pretty good setup going on here. He's been running as a rookie here, top 10 consistently through the midway part of the season. Ryan Janetta now with the fast lap, resets it with a 1:12.404. A lot of great battles on the racetrack right now. There's that fight with Karel Pashevich. Right behind Pashevich is a number of the Jay Howard cars. Being told a potential issue with the number 8 of Max Cuthbert, some wing damage. He's going to head to pit lane. Race control giving me the update on that, so watch for Cuthbert, the Englishman, to come into pit lane. Not what he was looking for, of course, after a strong run yesterday. Field finally starting to stream out a little bit. There's one driver's dropped the wheel coming out of that corner, and he's got to take the escape route. That one of the might have been one of the, I think it's one of the Pabst cars potentially. Trying to see who's falling down the order. It might be Lucas Nanji. Yeah, I think Nanji dropped a wheel coming through turn number 11 and had to take the escape route. He's fallen back to the tail of the field indeed. Difficult there for Nanji again, but wise to bail out of it. The last thing you want to do is find yourself fighting the wheel and end up in the wall. So indeed, a couple drivers on the chat asking about a penalty for Leonardo Scorpioni. There was contact between he and Andres Cardenas at the end of the race yesterday in Pro. There will be a 3-position grid penalty for a Scorpioni as well this weekend for race number 2. A little update for you there. Again, field kind of finally starting to settle in a little bit here. Max Cuthbert had finished 9th yesterday. Difficult to see him have to come into pit lane. I'm sure he was looking for another top 10 finish. Weldon's lead stretching out a bit here now. It was 0.6 of a second on the last lap. Now call it almost a second, as another driver's had to take the escape route there. When you go off there onto that part of the racetrack, you come essentially to the pre-grid, the other side of the wall, which comes onto what is the drag strip launch area. And they'll come back on there and can't get onto the racetrack till they're told by a series official it's safe to return. So Naim Saleh went off as well there, as did Lucas Nanji. So Nanji the lap before, Naim Saleh, the Brazilian, for Jay Howard off his past lap. Weldon, Beswick, Garzone, Janetta, and Majman, top 5. Majman able to get back by Anthony Martella. So Martella back to 6th. Evan Cooley in 7th. 8th is Joao Vergara. 9th is Wesley Gundler. 10th is Thomas Nordquist. Ian Bossoff and Gabriel Kahn just on the outside looking in. Both those drivers right essentially there, just on the cusp of top 10 in the points as well. So now drivers settling in here, and you're going to hear them after the race talking about that aero wash, because it's so tough when you get here and onto this corner. There's a driver's gone off again. Another driver off has had to go through the escape route. I'll try to fill you in on who that is when the guys start falling down the order here. I think that might have been Eddie Beswick. Eddie Beswick from 2nd on the racetrack, 3rd in points. He's gone off over in turn number 11 as well. Garzone moving up into 3rd. Garzone to 2nd, Janetta to 3rd. Majman 4th, Martella 5th, Cooley, Vergara, Gundler. So we're going to have a look here, folks. We do have a replay for you here of what happened over in that turn number 11, 10-11 complex for Eddie Beswick in the 23 for Pabst. Watch them come through here. Just loses the rear on the exit. And I'm telling you, every little bit of his talent trying to hold that thing. When you start to spin like that, it's when you spin 2 feet in. So clutch and brake, so the car is under control. He then releases the brake to roll, gets on the wheel again. to get it turned back around and expertly brought it back onto the escape road. So tough one for him to fall to 18th right now, 2.7 seconds behind Lucas Nangi, his teammate. So two of the Pabst cars having trouble in the transition through turn number 11, losing the rear of the car and having to bail out of it. So that moves Garzone up into second, Janetta to third, Majman up to fourth, Martella to sixth, Cooley to seventh, Vergara to eighth. And with now the fast lap of the race, Wesley Gundler in the Envy Motorsports number 46. He goes a 1:11.950. Thomas Nordqvist and Vian Bossoff now cap off the top 10. Long way to go still for this one. Weldon's lead now 1.3 seconds. A couple little battles kind of shaping up. There's your lead. That's a good shot here to give you the gaps. There's Garzone, Janetta, and then Majman. The two exclusive Autosport cars locked together. That's Martella in the 92 and Cooley in the 90. They run 5th and 6th in the championship battle, and they are only separated by 1 point. 182 points, 181 points. Connor Aspley into the pit lane. Not sure what happened to Connor there, but he's coming back out, I'm told. Weldon, Garzone, Janetta, Majman, Martella, Cooley. Then 7/10 back to Vergara. 9 laps down. Still a long way to go on a 25-lap contest for the drivers here in USF 2000. .3 seconds the gap now. Wesley Gundler started 13th. He is +5 up to 8th, the fast lap of the race. Only 7/10 behind Vergara. Was quicker by 2/10. So keep an eye out for that white number 46 right there. And he sees Vergara in his sights. Great stuff here right now for Wesley Gundler. Oh, then he goes off right in turn number 11 as I put the spotlight on him. The dreaded commentator curse. Oh my goodness, pushes so hard into the corner and goes off the racetrack. Oh, I hate to see that. He was up on the wheel and was digging to try to get himself forward. Where is he gonna fall down to? Most of these drivers are falling deeper in the field. Looks like he may have been able to get back out a little quicker than some of the other drivers. He only goes to 12th. Enough of a gap, because if you fall off and you have issues and there's more drivers coming through, we have a serious official there before you can rejoin with a stop and go sign. You're either going to be allowed to go because you've got room or not. Luckily for Gundler, able to come up ahead of, I believe, Karel Pashevich. No, Ayrton Kahn. So he comes in there in 12th position, 2.2 seconds back of Pashevich. So Gundler, lots of time still, 15 more laps to see if he can't get himself back up. There's got a group of 3 right in front of him. Indeed, Bossoff, Kahn, and Pashevich right in front of him. So Gundler's the fastest driver on the racetrack. I'm sure he'll be beating himself for that one, but let's see if he's able to get himself back up into the top 10 here. That'll still be a fantastic drive after that minor miscue. Hate to do it with the commentator curse. Man, that's gutting. But he's digging in the 94 of Kahn. Let's see if he's able to match pace as well. Look at this scrap here. I think that's Cooley by. Cooley may have got by Martella in turn 2. Yeah, I believe Evan Cooley's gone to P5. Martella goes back to 6. These two drivers battling hard. And right behind them as well is Joao Vergara. He was able to close up when they were scrapping for that position. Look at Vergara right there on the gearbox now. Thomas Nordqvist for D-Force Racing, running in the 8th position. A good start. Start 10th, stayed into trouble. Good stuff for Nordqvist right now. This would be his best finish of the year. I think, no, he was, yeah, best finish of the year. He was, I want to say, 10th at the opening race at the Mid-Ohio, his best result thus far. So Nordquist trying to step things up here. Love to see the drivers like this really start to get some results second half of the season. Remember, if you're following along, these drivers again will be back at it on track in 6 days' time. Driver's gone off. We got a driver off with some kind of damage on the outside of turn number 2. One of the exclusive cars, I believe, went off. I don't know if that was Cooley or Martella. I think it was Anthony Martella, with looks like some kind of issue going off in turn number 2, not able to get turned. I wonder whether or not he had some kind of a issue with the front of that race car. No, here he is here. Martella's still on the racetrack, so he went off but came back on. And he is slowly cruising around the racetrack. Oh my goodness, Martella with an opportunity. I want to say about 84 points back still in the championship. Tough one for Martella there. Not quite sure what it is at this point. See if we can maybe get one of our spotters to help us out with potential of actually what's going on. Have not seen it as of yet. A tough one for Martella. He was running in 6th position. That's going to move everybody forward there. Martella going to try to see if he can't limp it back to pit lane. Maybe get it repaired. You never know what could happen on the racetrack here. Again, you hate to see it because it's really, and I use the term feast or famine for Martella. He's won 3 races this year. He's either like winning races or on the podium, or finds himself at the DNF. He's been wrecked a couple of times. Talk about trying for a young driver. Second yesterday, a fantastic drive to the podium, was running there P6 to stack up some good points. Something happened on this last lap. Full course yellow. I don't know whether he's been able to get back around as of yet. I don't see him saying that he's in pit lane yet. That's going to move Joao Vergara up into 6th, Thomas Nordquist into 7th. Ian Bossoff up to 8th, Gabriel Kahn to 9th, and Karel Pashevich into 10th. Connor Aspley coming back out onto the racetrack. He's been in a couple of times here. Sounds like Anthony Martella, who looked like he was trying to get himself back to pit lane, has come to a stop over in turn number 6. We've seen a couple of drivers, 2 drivers having one electrical problem. A couple of drivers have had issues with the car itself when we're talking about just the way they've been pounding the curbs in a couple parts of this racetrack. Eddie Beswick with an issue yesterday. Could be the same thing here for Anthony Martella. So Aspley's in and out. Cuthbert had to come in with the wing issue. He's back on the track a couple laps down. Saw drivers having issues over in turn number 11. A number of them did. Eddie Beswick, Naeem Saleh, Lucas Nanji. This will be massive for Eddie Beswick, to be honest with you. This restart here, there's still 10 laps remaining when they come back around, 11 as they run on the racetrack. Nanji's running in 13th, Beswick in 16th. This is going to give Beswick an opportunity to get some big points back here, because remember how far back he was. So some kind of a failure there on the car of Martella. I wonder whether or not potentially tapping the wall coming through the apex of turn 1. Saw Felix Rosenquist do it. That was quite the replay circulating on social media right now, where he got into the inside of turn number 1 and hammered that right front. Those cars are a little beefier than ours, so you wonder whether or not he potentially tapped there or just the wear and tear. Yeah, again, that's a possibility. Again, where he went off as well. I don't know if we'll be able to get back and get the potential replay of that, but when we picked up what happened, he came through turn 1 and then essentially drove straight off, and not at speed, obviously slowed up a little bit, wasn't able to make the left-hander of turn 2 and kind of coasted off track. You wonder whether or not that indeed was the incident where he may have just tapped the wall. We've shown that particular camera, that ground level camera on the exit of 1, and you just see how close they are when they hammer over top of the kind of curbing that they have there to use. The drivers in USF and IndyCar, IndyNext, you name it, they're not using that curbing. They're coming right across it, getting as close as they possibly can, using the wall as the apex. And again, it doesn't take much to try to take a little too much, right? You get right here. If you're coming through this particular corner, if we go to the next shot, which we likely will, you can see how easy it is for those drivers when you're trying to really clip that apex right here. You're powering through there. You're not doing it here on a yellow, but my goodness, they are right up against that barrier, whether or not Martella may have just made some light contact there. So let's re-rack for you here. Oliver Weldon leading the way. That 1.5 second lead has vanished. It's going to give Garzone a chance to attack him again. Garzone with the fast lap of the race right now as well at 1:11.721. Fast lap was Weldon yesterday with a 12.0. We have that new Ghost Lap, fastest lap of the weekend. We'll talk more about that when we get to going here in a second. But right now, as they run, whoever's going to be fastest here is going to come away with that fastest lap of the weekend. Brought to you by Ghost Lap. Weldon, Garzone 1-2. Janetta in the third position. Brad Majman fourth. Evan Cooley fifth. Ravagara sixth. Thomas Nordquist runs seventh. Ian Bossoff eighth. Gabriel Kahn ninth. And Karel Pashevich now 10th. Wesley Gundler, it's going to help him as well. Remember, Gundler was ready to attack, trying to work his way up there to potentially even scrap for sixth or seventh, but ended up going off. It's going to give him another shot as well. So Gundler re-racking. Field set. We put lap 16 in the books when we come back around. Here's the fight for the lead coming down. Does Garzone go right after him? Or does he have to deal with Janetta behind? No, we're going to see an attack here for sure. 9 laps remaining. Down to the inside goes Weldon. Around the outside comes Garzone. Not quite enough on the inside. Everybody else checks up. Got to get to the right side of the apex. Great job by the crew coming through there. USF2000. Excellent on the start. Fantastic on the restart as well. Garzone took a big look up the inside. And I think after maybe yesterday when he didn't quite get what he was hoping for in terms of points, Garzone finishing down the order in 14th. That point lead that was once 30 or 40 down to 19, now down to 11. Garzone with a couple of spots on Malchman. I think maybe, you know what, I'd love to go for the race win, but can't risk the points here again. So probably wise to back out a little bit and try to fight another lap. 9 to go. Wesley Gundler again. We watched him work his way forward. Garzone though with that fast lap. Remember, he knows he's got a hot rod. That's the one big thing about it as well. All of these drivers dealing with the aero wash of not having that air over the wing as they tuck right up under the rear attenuator, the wing of these Tatis race cars. See what we got further back. Oh, no, ooh, a little bit there, potential contact as Gundler is battling it out there. You see him kind of get shot off the apex. Gundler, I think, trying to go around the outside of Kahn. A little dust up there from a wheel dropped on the exit of 3. Yeah, Gundler, look, he's kind of on the outside right now. He's in a big battle right now with Lucas Nanji. Right behind Nanji is Eddie Beswick. Those two Paps cars currently running in 13th and 14th. Gundler finally getting back in. Oftentimes you'll get yourself hung out to dry on the outside. You can't get back to the racing line. You can't get back to the apex because guys are throwing the nose. Here comes a move from Beswick on his teammate. They'll go side by side coming down the back straightaway, and I think Beswick may have got a better run out of turn number 7 through 8. I think he's got that spot. Oh, indeed, they're going to go side by side through the corner. Finally, Nanji has to check a little bit. So Beswick's going to get another position, move him up into 13th. Last time by was a 0.4 of a second lead for Weldon across the line. Make it 0.41, just a bit quicker than Garzone. Again, here's that shot of how close they come as they work their way through the car just bouncing over the curbing. You wonder how tired these drivers' arms are going to be when you see it just jolt back and forth coming through that turn 1 complex. It's not a straight up turn 1. Pounding over the curbs, bottoming out the car midway. It's got to be aimed in the right direction coming through. Sadly for Martella, he's out of this one. Connor Aspley back out. A number of drivers have had issues. Just the one yellow flag here. Beswick trying to roll up on Gundler now. Last time by, Gundler was quicker by a couple of tenths, but that was Beswick making the move on Nanji. Kahn ahead of Gundler. In fact, Kahn was almost a half a second faster. So, oh no, there, yeah, Gundler's by Kahn. So Kahn in the 94 has moved back a spot, moved Gundler up into 11th. Wesley Gundler to 11th spot in the NV Motorsports machine. So the fast lap of the race earlier in the run. Now it belongs to Garzone, but that number 46 for Gundler, super quick. Gundler to Holly Springs, North Carolina, in the Apex Resource Center, NV Motorsports Tatis. Garzone not closing up yet on Weldon. Check this out here. Indeed, Thomas Nordquist back to 9th. I think he made it to 10th actually. I think Karol Pashevich maybe up into 9th. The driver leading the points in USF Juniors has such a massive point lead. Really only needs a win in race 1 of the triple header. The finale driver around. Driver spinning coming out of turn number 7. One of the exclusive cars goes around, I believe. I'll try to pick a number up. No, couldn't quite get it. Don't know if that was Ayrton Kahn, potentially in the 94. The driver dropping a wheel on the exit of that corner. Gundler has caught up to Nordquist, as has Pashevich. Oh, okay, being told that was potentially the 24 and the 94 getting together, so Kahn and Nanji contact in that corner. So Nanji potentially into Kahn. Kahn went around. That'll be something that race control will have a look at when they collect the video cards, all the memory cards, to have a look at any issue that gets called up by a driver. They'll do the best they can to look at it and try to assess a penalty in race. That's the initial effort. If the replays can show it completely with instant responsibility, they'll use that. But otherwise, if they have to wait till the end of the race, they will. Pashevich making a move as well to the inside of Gabriel Kahn, I think. Look at this side by side. Gabriel Kahn on the outside. Inside is Pashevich. He's going to P8. What a debut for Olivia Racing here in USF 2000. And had a chance to talk with Augie Soto Sharipa, the team engineer, and the only female team principal in the USF Pro Championships, Dana Delgado. 3 cars under that stable. Only the one is another driver's dropped the wheel coming off. That might have been Nanji again. But they have shown so extremely well. Olivia Racing has single car effort in USF Juniors. They're tooled up for 3 cars. And they're planning to potentially either run juniors or 2000 or a mixture of both in 2027. They've definitely shown what they have as a racing team in terms of pace. Pashevich has been so impressive in USF Juniors. Multiple wins on the season. Swept the weekend at the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Had a great run as well with a couple of podiums. 3 podiums at Homestead, a couple of podiums at Lime Rock. A horrible weekend at Carolina Motorsports Park, but yeah, they're lining up to get a championship there that would put Pashevich up in the USF 2000 with that scholarship, and he'll grow within the team. So Pashevich up to 8th now. The number 94 of Ayrton Kahn has retired from this one. It's been a tough day for Exclusive Autosport with Ayrton Kahn, Connor Aspley, and Anthony Martella. Both Kahn and Martella out. Aspley's been in and out getting repairs, I believe. It was Lucas Nanji who went off again over in turn number 11. He's fallen back into 16th. That has moved Beswick now up into 11th. Beswick putting the pressure now to try to get by Nordquist. Weldon, though, out. P1 as we've got ourselves a great battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Garzone, Majman, and Janetta. A driver's gone around, though, coming into turn number 1. I think that might be Nordquist. So a driver is looped coming through turn 1. He may be high-centered as well. And with just 3 laps to go, this could effectively end the race. I don't know whether he's going to be able to get rolling here. Ayrton Kahn, we've been told, back out onto the racetrack, which is good. Finish this one off. Full course yellow, folks. So potential best result of the year for Thomas Nordquist going by the wayside as he goes around in turn number 1. Not sure what happened there in turn number 1. We talked about Eddie Beswick being there to potentially try to find a way by Nordquist. Did not see it looking down at live time and looking back up at the monitor and found him sideways. Now, I'll say this, there's an opportunity to go back to green flag racing. This is not going to take a lot, I think, to get him off of this. Although we are now lap 23, they would have to go green next time by. Now, they'll likely be able to refire Nordquist here. So unless we go green this next time by for one lap, this is done. But the AMR crew, do they refire? Does Nordquist continue? They'll drop him down. They've got starters out there. They're able to get him refired. Rest of the field coming through. So Ayrton Kahn in the 94 able to get back on track, and he does refire. And remember, the AMR crew could just cross the track and get behind the wall right there. Just the one more car rolling through here. Are we going to get a one-lap dash? Pace car lights out, folks. One-lap dash for USF 2000. Weldon, Garzon, Majman, Janetta, Cooley, top 5. Vergara, Pashevich, Bossoff, Kahn, Beswick. Hold on for a one-lap dash. Does Weldon get his second win of the weekend? Everybody lining up. Great job for the AMR IndyCar safety team. One more lap around this 1.9 mile circuit, 12 corners to find out who comes away with the race win. Field set. They'll be on the green, and they're underway. Final lap. Weldon punches off. Did Garzon get on the loud pedal quick enough? Is he close enough for a diver? You know Weldon's going to come to the inside of the racetrack. He's got to cover the inside. He does not. Stays wide. Got a big enough jump. Side by side, Cooley. Contact there. Contact at the apex. One driver up in the air continuing. That might have been Janetta up in the air. Back down on the throttle. Front drivers leading the way. It's going to be a battle for third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. That may be Cooley through. Not quite sure. But the leaders have got away, Weldon and Garzon. I think that's Majman now into third. Cooley into fourth. Janetta. Someone tucked a wheel and was up in the air. Big move to the inside there for, I think that might have been Pashevich getting the spot. Either that or Bossoff. Pashevich on Bossoff. Bossoff in the 67, Pashevich in the 25. That was Bossoff making the move to the inside of Pashevich. Pashevich thinking the inside as well. Look at this. Does he send it to the inside? He's side by side. Not enough. Beswick up there as well. Final time through. Couple drivers off the track coming through turn number 11. Stacking them up coming through 11 and 12. Onto the front straightaway though. Twin checkers. And what a weekend for the young driver to St. Petersburg, Florida. Race 2 in USF 2000. Back-to-back jacks for Oliver Weldon. Weldon wins by a half a second. Sebastian Garzon, your point leader, ekes that margin out a little over Brad Majman. Evan Cooley comes home fourth. Joao Vergara in fifth. Sixth goes to Bossoff. Seventh to Beswick. Eighth to Pashevich. Ninth to Gabe Kahn. 10th to Wesley Gundler. And after starting in third or fourth rather, that contact for Janetta had him up in the air. He ends up in the 11th position ahead of Kaylee Countryman. A wild final lap here in USF 2000. That restart handled well by Oliver Weldon and Garzon. Weldon did not even have to cover to the bottom, got a good jump, was able to run the racing line. Garzon wisely taking the points ahead of Majman, although Cooley almost had the third spot, that last position on the podium, side by side. They were coming through turns number 2, 3, and 4. Vergara ends up in the 5th position. A great run for Bean Bossoff. Started 16th, he ends up 6th. Plus 10 for Bossoff. Beswick in 7th, Pashevich 8th. Gabriel Kahn in 9th, and Wesley Gundler rounding out the top 10. Fastest lap of the weekend, sponsored by Ghost Lap. Sebastian Garzon, a 1:11.721. So there you have it. USF 2000 drivers are going to work their way back around here. We've got another race still rolling here for USF Pro 2000. That's not going to go green until 2:30, over an hour's time, as The Arca Menard Series will, I believe, head to the racetrack before that happens for their practice session here. But the bottom line is a big victory for Oliver Weldon. He wins his second and continues to storm his way up the championship standings. Came into the race sitting 7th place in points, but you throw another 30 on, that picks him up to 195. He'll be very likely up there potentially in 6th position in points. Maybe not quite 6th, maybe 6 or maybe get the slot. We'll see. And anyways, 30 points is the way to get it done on a Saturday here in Portland. Weldon, Garzone, and Majman, those 3 drivers will join me in victory lane. We'll head down there momentarily as those drivers getting ready to get out of the race cars here. Weldon, how many times have I said this before, where once you get that first win, you can open the floodgates. He was on the pole for all 3 races on the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, was only able to translate that to a couple of podium finishes. Today, though, here in Portland, and yesterday, 2 victories. Big time stuff for the second generation driver, Weldon, for VRD Racing. Getting it done. Fantastic drive for young Weldon. .569, the margin of victory over Sebastian Garzone. Garzone's going to get a couple of points there. He'll expand it by 3, make it 4 with the fast lap of the race. So it'll be a 15-point lead heading into Markham for Sebastian Garzone, with still 5 races left to go. 2 in Markham, 3 the triple header at Road America at the end of September. So lots of racing still to get done. Scott Dixon coming down to have a little chat. Dario Franchitti as well. So these places you'll be rubbing shoulders for sure. You know you're going to get a little bit of information there. Again, Scott Dixon and Dario Franchitti, of course, so close with Dan Weldon. Happy to see young Weldon succeed here. Team engineer and team manager Jacob Loomis from VRD Racing rolling in here as well. There's a remainder of your top 20, folks. I'm going to head to victory lane, time to celebrate the successes of Oliver Weldon, Sebastian Garzone, and Brad Majman. Thank you, Bobby. Indeed, down here in victory lane to get things underway. The wrap-up of the doubleheader for the drivers here in USF2000. A great last lap scrap as he would come away with the race win. Finishing in 3rd spot right now. The championship definitely starting to heat up from Pabst Racing. Brad Majman finishing in 3rd position. Brad, just a quick chat about that last lap. You were digging hard in there and we're running really strong. What were your thoughts on that last circuit?
Yeah, it's not much. You know, I thought we were in front before the yellow, but we'll see what they have to say upstairs on that one. Yeah, so I thought we were in front, but I saw the door open, so I went for it. I was pretty clean there, but yeah, it happens. It's racing. We'll see what the high powers have to say about that one.
Lots of points, but well done. Well done.
Yeah, thanks.
Good job for Brad Majman, folks. As we said there, again, digging in the middle of a championship fight. The driver leading the points coming into the weekend gets a couple extra ones here. Finishing in second from D-Force Racing, Sebastian Garzone. Sebastian, you got to stack points. We know all about it. You had a pretty big lead at the start of the season, but a fantastic run for you. Fast lap of the race as well. Just give me your thoughts on that last lap.
Yeah, first, thank to God, like obviously. I want to thank my team. David, Armando, my mechanics, my coaches, Simon, everyone in the team that support me. Yesterday, it was a mistake from me, and they support me, and today we got a really good result. Now we focus to Canada to have more points. I know I'm so confident in street circuit, so let's try to win.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Second place, folks, Sebastian Garzone today. Great job for the point leader. Big victory yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. His first in the USF Pro Championships. He goes back-to-back jacks here today. Have a round of applause for VRD Racing winner race number 2, Oliver Weldon. Oh, you make it look easy now. You get that first one, you get the second one. I'm sure you didn't want to see the last lap dash, but you handled it very well. What were your thoughts coming around with one more lap to go?
Yeah, it was definitely pretty annoying, to be honest, to see safety car in the last lap, but I knew that I just had to get a good restart, which I did. I think I had a little bit of a gap going to turn 1, so I didn't have to defend, which was really good. So then I just kind of focused on that lap and not making any mistakes, and in the end, it was good.
Couple of wins here. How much confidence does that give you going to Toronto next weekend?
Yeah, definitely a lot after, obviously, my flip in Mid-Ohio, so it definitely boosted my confidence, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Who do you want to thank today, Oliver?
All of my sponsors, all the VRD guys, Dan Mitchell, Jacob Loomis, David Easter, Jim Locke, my teammates, TWG, Andretti, Imaginarium, Big Machine, MPI, and all my other sponsors, and my mom for being here and supporting me, and my manager, Adrian.
Congratulations, man. Grab that trophy. He's got a little collection going here, folks. A couple of wins, his first 2 in USF Pro Championships competition. Great job for Oliver Weldon today. Did not want that last yellow. Had to defend at the end there, but really ran a really strong final lap to be able to come away with the victory. All 3 of these drivers, very impressive. 3 different teams on the podium as well. VRD Racing, D-Force Racing, and Pabst Racing. Garzone and Majma most definitely in the championship fight. They sit first and second in the points, but I'm telling you, despite missing the opening round at St. Petersburg, Oliver Weldon not out of it yet. If he keeps winning races, he could be in it before it's all said and done here at Road America. 2 races next week on the streets of Markham, Ontario, as we know. Tough racing there. We'll see how it all plays out. There's still a long way to go to find out who comes away with the championship and that scholarship to move to USF Pro 2000 Racing in 2027. One more race, of course, is up for us, USF Pro 2000 after the Arca Menard Series. But guys, grab that champagne, grip it and rip it. A fantastic weekend for Oliver Weldon and VRD Racing as he goes back-to-back here in Portland. A tremendous weekend to get those first USF Pro 2000 race wins. Thank you so much for tuning in on the broadcast, folks. Again, we're back, as I said, 2:30 green flag for USF Pro 2000. Thank you so much for tuning in. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.